What's going on? Welcome to another live edition of Real Fans, Real Talk. We got a whole lot of sports to get into, man. We global now. We international. It's Olympic season now, so we got a whole lot of sports to talk about. The NBA Summer League is going down right now. I know everybody's been talking about Bronny James and whatnot, but we gonna get into all that. We actually had a boxing match, believe it or not. It was pretty quiet, but we did have a boxing match that went on this past weekend. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co-host, my brother, Eric Sanchez, aka Legend in Two.
What's really good, bro? Happy to get back after missing last week, and shout out to Max Pierce as well for holding it down last week. But yeah, man, let's get to it. We got a lot to get into. Team USA, we in the thick of things in baseball, boxing, so a lot to get to, man. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We might as well start with the Olympics right now because I'm liking how things are shaping up. We finally got Steph Curry in the actual Olympic Games. The talk though has been about who should be the starting five. So Eric, who's your starting five if you got to pick?
Top of my head, real quick, probably I would say Steph, and Edwards, KD, Braun, and Joel. And I would have AD come off the bench. I would have Joel start, but you can mix and match it based off personnel and matchups and different strategies you want to implement. But that's the five I would go with: Joel, KD, Braun, Steph, and the young man Ant-Man in the backcourt.
He definitely has earned a shot at starting in the Olympics. My starting five is similar. The only thing is I didn't have Ant-Man starting. I had Steph, Braun, KD, AD, and Joel Embiid as my starting five. But I will also like to swap a couple of starters depending on the teams that they're playing. When they play Canada, I would like to actually have Holiday start so that he could lock up Shea. So that was one thing there. Luka and them boys ain't gonna be playing because Giannis got them up out of there. So we ain't really gotta worry about Luka. But yeah, other than that, I think that would be my five. I'm excited though. I cannot wait to get into this year's Olympics. Let me ask you this, Eric. What's the over under on wins? Because I don't see the Team USA ain't losing no games. But are we over or under 20 plus points every game? That's the margin of victory.
If I had to choose, I probably would say under every game. So you're talking on average. On average, maybe they will be above, but I just think a potential matchup with Canada will be tough. A potential matchup with France will be a little difficult. So there are some challenges presented there for them. So I would say under 20 points a game. But I think for the most part, against everyone else, they win that margin. Whether it's your starting five, my starting five, it doesn't matter. Anybody's starting five. Team USA is so talented. They should be able to beat everyone by at least double digits.
Now, let me ask you this. I know you're probably going to be biased on this one, but who is going to be the first person to dunk on Wembanyama in this Olympics?
I'm gonna say based off attitude, it's gonna be Ant-Man because Anthony Edwards probably will be the guy to say I'm gonna do it. Like I'm yamming on him, and that's gonna be it. So I think it's gonna be him. But I mean, remember Joel went at him and took it very personal in their regular season matchup. So if Joel gets a pin down deep in the paint, he might try to dunk on him right there as well.
That would be my 1A and 1B. It is number 1A just because he want to throw it on everybody.
Right.
And I think on this stage, this being his first Olympics, he's going to want to make a point and make a moment similar to one of the most talked about moments in Olympic history still to this day was Vince Carter dunking on that 7-footer. Excuse me. So I think Anthony Edwards is going to want to make a point, but again, because they're going to be guarding each other when they do play France, I could see either Embiid or AD catching one on Wemby. And with Embiid, he like that type of you know what I'm saying, smoke. So I could definitely see Embiid posting them up, getting a little quick one on him and just yamming it on Wembyana. But on the other side of that, Wemby is actually a very, very good shot blocker.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now, granted, he's going to be playing against the creme de la creme of NBA players in this situation.
I like what you did there. I see what you did there. I see what you did.
You know
I
what I'm
just want
saying?
to acknowledge I saw what you did there.
Thank you. So it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. It's not like when you're just playing a team and they may have one or two superstars on the team. Now everybody that's gonna be on that court, with the exception of Steph and a couple of the Brunson, Halliburton, but pretty much everybody else can actually throw it on you. I'm interested in seeing how that game goes when they do play France. But I think Wemby actually will do well. I think he'll do well.
Yeah.
But it's just it ain't gonna be close though.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect Wemby to play well, but as you mentioned, this is the time when guys want to make a statement and put you on a poster or get a highlight on you. And like I said, if Embiid gets a deep catch in the post, he might just
Yes.
be looking at two-hand Shaq, jamming on you type. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Embiid and Edwards, don't get me wrong, Edwards comes around and pick and roll and he sees daylight, he is going to try to put Wembanyama on a poster.
Mm-hmm.
That's if they match up against France, that's going to be the one time every time he comes off that pick and roll, he's going to be looking to get to the basket, man. Shout out to my brother Will Gordon. How you doing, bro?
Yes, sir. What it do, baby? Let me look into some of these comments here. First of all, shout out to Justin Frizion, first in the in the comment. He was in the comments earlier. That's from 12:09 this afternoon. We appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Let me I'm gonna come back to your question because that's a brawny question. Let me knock out some of these Olympic questions first. Before we do get into, you know what, let's go ahead because I this was interesting. I did want to talk about this. Shout out to Kyrie Thompson. He says 17-year-old incoming freshman Cooper Flag went to work yesterday against the USA team in a scrimmage. USA only won by 1. How impressive is Cooper? Well, let me put respect on his name because he was really good yesterday. However, you got to take that with a grain of salt because we're talking about an exhibition game, a game that these guys. I mean, they're competitors, so you care, but it ain't like they were playing an actual Olympic game, and it's like it's go win season. So as much as I want to give him credit, and again, this is a kid that's gonna be going to the team I support in college, the Blue Devils. So I'm all for it, but I would say kind of take this with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, these are the best of the best, but at the same time, I don't know if they're going 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like they would in a real game situation.
Well, shout out to Kyrie. A couple things from here though. Team USA beating the select team by 1 point. I don't make much about that. This was Team USA's first time together as a collective. So rotation wise, Steve Kerr is still trying to figure some things out. No big deal there. Whether they had won or lost, I would not have made much about that. Let's not forget, the Dream Team had lost to, at that time, what was the Team USA select team of college athletes when they were together. So I don't think that would have made much about that. Cooper Flag, though, is very impressive, highly skilled young man who I'm going to be very interested to see not only at Duke, but then as he progresses, because we know at 17 years old, he is far from a finished product, but the skills are already there. So I'm impressed with his skill set. I'm interested to see how he handles the pressure at Duke because he's going to have a target on his back every game. And when you start off the season as the number one projected pick, it's easy for you to slide down the board because people can pick at your game. So can he maintain that number one status? I think he's a great player, though. And I like him a lot. And like I said, I'm interested to see and I'm intrigued by what we're going to see from him this freshman year to hold down that number one pick because I still think he will be the number one pick in next year's draft.
Yes, I'm gonna put up Will's comment. And he put the pause up here itself, so it's all good. Cooper Flag is gonna look good in a Wizards uniform. We need to focus on developing our young guys while losing.
I like the hashtag.
Gordon, man. Yes. Yeah, I think he is one of them ones. I'm excited that he will be playing for Duke this coming year. But yeah, I think that's definitely a one and done, and he more than likely will be the number one player in that draft. I don't want him to go to Washington because I don't want him to go to the basement, start his career. But if that's who drafts him, we don't have a choice in that. But again, I do like what I'm seeing from the young man. Let me see what else do we have here. Okay, let me go back to this one from Kyrie. To me, the greatest team ever, 1992, led by Michael Jordan and the gang. Then I got the '08 team, second best. I think this year's team can be third best. Curry, KD, and Braun still can play, but out of prime. I I guess it's crazy because to say like the numbers that these guys are still putting up to say that they're past their prime, and they are technically, but I feel like these are three of the guys that had extended primes. You know what I mean? So I think we got to judge these guys a little bit differently. Because yeah, again, I think they have extended primes, but yeah, I think this could be the third best. Honestly, because of the motivation of this team coming into this year's Olympics, I wouldn't surprised if, what I'm saying, we're calling them the second best team. It will be hard to say better than the dream team unless you are winning every game by like 30 points. In which case, then I would say they got the number one spot because the dream team winning those games by 30 points wouldn't mean as much as Team USA now
Right.
beating these teams by 30 plus points a game because of the talent level being, not obviously it's not an even playing field, but in comparison to what MJ and Magic and those guys were playing against, we talking about a difference between NBA players versus JV basketball team in junior high school. Like that's the damn near the difference in talent level. So I would have to give them the edge if that was to happen. But yeah, you love it. You want to see these guys playing on the same team. You know what I'm saying, in the Olympic setting, I love to see it. You want to see Steph and LeBron, you want to see LeBron and KD, and I think when you throw out Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis, and then Ant-Man, who's the young gun on this team, Halliburton, all of these guys, Tatum, and let's not forget, you still got Kawhi. You know what I mean? So I think this is going to be one of those teams. And then going into this thing with the extra motivation because of all the controversy from what happened, this past summer with Team USA, how they lost, and okay, LeBron saying, okay, really? That's what we doing? Let me call the guys up, and I'm gonna show y'all we still are the team to beat, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I don't want to rank this team just yet because they still have to win a gold medal. That 92 team, that 2008 team are gold medalists. So to say automatically this team is third all time, let them win the gold medal first. But if they do, and it goes the way we expect, I do think we're going to wonder if this team might be the second best Olympic team because, as we highlighted, yeah, you got the vets, Curry, KD, Braun, and even Anthony Davis, vets. But then you still got Anthony Edwards, who we expect to be better than what he is today. You still got Jason Tatum, who we expect to be better than what he is today. Same thing with Tyrese Halliburton.
He got
Joel Embiid,
he got
right?
that ring.
He got that ring. Joel Embiid is in his prime right now. Joel Embiid was on the verge of probably being a back-to-back MVP before he got hurt this year. So there's a lot of room for growth with this current team in terms of what they could ultimately be as a finished product. And so that's why I don't want to rank them just yet because you have those veterans, but you also have a couple guys, even Joel, who's about to be 30, who's like, this might not be the best version of Joel. Like we might look back at this team a couple years from now and be like, man, Joel actually was even better after those Olympics. I expect Ant-Man and Tatum to be better after these Olympics. So
because you're going to get to learn from those guys.
Always, yeah. Historically, guys go to the Olympics, and because you're competing against the very best guys in the world, and obviously within your own team, that you normally come out of that Olympic experience even better than you were going into it. So I don't want to rank them just yet, but I think this has the potential to be a very special team because we're going to get moments where Curry looks like Curry, where Braun looks like Braun, where KD looks like KD. But we'll also see moments where we're like, yo, Anthony Edwards might win MVP next year. Jason Tatum, as I've been saying, Jason Tatum might be taking that next step now into true superstardom. Joel Embiid might be the best big man in the game, right? So there's going to be moments, and I love Joel Embiid's comment, no disrespect to Joker, but when he said, I don't care about the Joker. When somebody try to ask him about a potential matchup, that's the mindset you're supposed to have when you feel you're the best at that position. I don't care about nobody else. So I'm very...
When they go head up, he tends to get the best of Joker. And from what I've seen anyway. So
I think Joel is one of the elite players. I've said for a long time, I think Joel is I for a long time thought he was the best big man. Now, Joker, 3 MVPs in 4 years, and he's got a championship. That changes the conversation. But I can't remember a matchup where Joel didn't get the best of any center he went up against. It's just he doesn't have the accolades that the Joker has right now.
Yeah, including the Joker. But again, resume trumps, things for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But head up, when I've seen them going head up, Joel Embiid usually gets the better of Jokic. But you can't deny resume. Let me put up Gary Blankenship's comment. Shout out to Gary. If Team USA loses this year, it's over. You ain't got to worry about that, brother, because they ain't losing. So you ain't got to worry about that one. That ain't happening. Ant-Man is taking a lot of ish to just average around 11, 12 points per game in the Olympic. Yeah, but most guys don't average 30 a game in the Olympic. Everybody's not doing that because, so even the starters are not all going to be averaging that many points like that. It's about going up there and showcasing and putting on that kind of dominated performance to where you can not only show the world, but then to come back and show again the best players in the world how we just finished leveling up.
Yeah, and Olympic play, especially for Team USA, because the roster's so deep, you're not getting 30 minutes anyway. You might only be working with 15 to 20 minutes. So if Ant-Man is giving you 12 points off 18 minutes, I think that's a pretty efficient night for most guys. You'll take that. There's also going to be some nights where they're blowing somebody out pretty early, and Ant-Man may only play 9 minutes that night because he ain't played the whole second half. So I don't think that's nothing to do. Will, my question to you would be, Will, is like, how is this any? And Will, you answered before I could say it. He goes, that's my point, fellas. But I was gonna say, how is this any different in terms of his personality than we saw in the regular season and throughout the playoffs? This is who Anthony Edwards is. This is why we love him, because he has the mentality that I am an alpha dog here, and y'all gonna have to respect on that level. So I love it from Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, let me throw this. International guard play is way more physical than air. Tyrese and Ant-Man are gonna find out what they're used to physical.
I don't think
and Ant-Man is a different breed anyway. Like I wouldn't put Ant-Man and Halliburton in the same category because Ant is a scorer. Halliburton is better as a floor general. That's when he's most effective. But again, trust and believe both of those guys are ready for what they're about to face. They've seen it. Even if you feel like it's more physical here, guess what? They play in the most physical league that you're gonna actually play in. And if Ant-Man ain't get bullied in the NBA, he damn sure ain't going to the Olympics and gonna get bullied. It's not happening.
Yeah, and plus also they're both bigger guards. These aren't 6'1" guards. Yeah, so they're both big. I mean, Tyrese is 6'6", maybe even 6'7". Ant-Man 6'5", so they're bigger guards. I don't think the physicality is going to bother them at all. If anything, I think the biggest challenge, and maybe more so for Tyrese, because Ant-Man, I think, is an exceptional on-ball guard as well. But Tyrese, the amount of picks that he's going to have to run through as a defender, the amount of chasing guys around screens and through the baseline, that'll probably be the biggest adjustment because there is more off-ball movement in the international game than there is in the NBA. So that might be the bigger adjustment for them. But as far as physicality, they're both bigger guards. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Let me Kyrie had a great question here. Slovenia failed to make the Olympics. Is this best for Luka after a long season? No. I think this is bad for Luka because now he ain't gonna be playing ball. And one of the things that we say about Luka is he don't come in the season in the best shape, or the way we talked about him during the NBA Finals, guys just kept blowing right past him, getting to the basket and putting up buckets. So now he's not even gonna have that Olympic run to where it's like, all right, at least we know he's still out here hooping. If he's at home, I don't know what he's gonna be doing at home. I mean, I would hope he's working on his game and trying to improve on the weaknesses that in his game. But the best way for us to actually see him and know he's putting in that work would have been for him to have been playing in the Olympics. So it kind of sucks for him that they don't qualify.
My fault. It does suck for him, but and I also don't want to say it's best for him. But
Mhm.
hey, it was a very long season. They got to report back to camp. Let's be realistic. Season starts again in late October. So most teams start reporting back to camp by early September. Had he played in these Olympics, he would have had to pretty much go straight through and then get ready to report for camp. He might have only had like 3 weeks off. So long-term wise, this is probably better for Luka. Get a little bit of rest now. Get ready for next season. See if you can replicate the success you had this year. And even if Slovenia had made the Olympics, let's be honest, what's their ceiling? Because I don't think they're better than Team USA. I don't think they're better than Team France. I don't think they're better than Team Canada. So what's realistically their ceiling?
They're probably not even better than Spain.
Maybe not better than Spain. They not listen. I may be biased, Trip. I don't think they're better than Puerto Rico. So, and I'm being biased.
Jose Alvarado said, "Nah, we coming."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. My man Grand Theft Alvarado. You see
Mhm.
the 29 piece he just dropped. I don't think they better than them. So they would have been tough for them right there.
And that's one of the things that we were talking about, over the past couple of weeks when we, building up to the Olympics is, when you look at the other countries, if you're lucky, you have an NBA superstar playing on your team, right? If you're lucky. I'm not even saying just a guy who might have been in the league. He may even be in the league now, but I'm talking about a bona fide superstar. If you are lucky as a country around the world, you have one NBA superstar on your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slovenia, that one would be who? Luka, right?
Absolutely.
Greece, it would be Giannis, right?
And Thanasis. I think Thanasis is on the team too.
I said bona fide superstars, Eric.
Oh,
Please.
my fault.
Well, you almost come on, man.
My fault.
but but yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you're lucky, you are talking about a roster full of superstar athletes, the best in the world. And I understand all that team chemistry, but there's a reason why the Team USA has lost once in what 20 Olympics. When was the last time Team USA, outside of obviously
that year with Garnett, Garnett, Marbury, Vince Carter, and outside of that, we're talking 20 years. I mean, since then, the Redeem team took over and things have gone back and restored the order of basketball royalty. But as we talked about, Slovenia, even with Luka, they're not better. Team USA, they're not better than France. They're not better than Canada. I don't think they were better than Puerto Rico. Obviously, they weren't better than Greece because Greece blew them out the other day. Yeah. So, he makes the Olympics. It looks great on the resume that they qualified, but realistically, what was their ceiling? They might have only got a couple games out of that experience anyway.
Yeah, facts. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go to. I know we had another Olympic question up here. Here we go. Shout out to Ron Charles. I think the USA games, Steph Curry will be the man. Plus, he never played in the Olympics. Curry and Tatum will shine in the games. Definitely will say Steph is going to shine in this Olympics. It's, just first and foremost, the 3-point line is actually closer than what it is in the Olympics. So he might be styling on you all over the place and throughout the course of this Olympics. So I think he definitely has an edge there. With Tatum, I think it's just going to be contingent on the type of minutes that he gets. Because I don't think he'll be a starter But so just I think that's just contingent on the minutes that he gets. But I think everybody is gonna do well. Like I don't think we come out of this Olympics and say, oh, yeah, these guys had a bad Olympics. I don't think we're gonna say that about anybody. I think everybody is gonna do well with the allotted time that they get.
I expect the same, and in a way, it will be kind of the international farewell for Braun, KD, and Curry because I expect this to be the last Olympics that they participate in. So I expect all of them to do well, and Curry, I think Curry is going to show out on this stage, understanding that this is probably his last opportunity at the Olympics, his first and his last.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
in a city like Paris, it's only right, I think, that the beauty of Chef Curry shows up every night.
Yeah, I agree. Everything you said. This being his first and most likely his last and only actual Olympics. Obviously, he's played in the World Games
Mhm.
before, but this was his first Olympics. He's going to show up and show out. So yeah, look out for Steph Curry. I mean, he's going to be Steph Curry. Like
Mhm.
that's pretty much what it is. He's going to be Steph Curry, and I love it. I love it for the Olympics. I love it for USA as a whole. Um, we're gonna go over there and we're gonna dominate. Let me see what Will just
I
said.
agree.
Metal Mellow should have an honorary spot on the team. Yeah, I mean, because we're Mellow fans, so I'm always gonna push for Mellow. But the only thing is, I mean, actually, I mean, Mellow probably could still go out there and ball for Team USA. So I would, what, honestly, I wouldn't even mind that. Whatever.
I
If
gotta.
they had a
I,
spot for Mellow.
no, I'm gonna find the clip because Cayenne recently said that his dad was offered a spot on the Olympic team and his dad turned it down. I'm gonna find the clip. They were teasing the idea of Melo and Cayenne against Bronny and LeBron, like as a joke, like 2-on-2 who will win.
Yeah, I saw
And
that. I'm like,
then yeah, but at the end, if you listen at the end of the clip, he says that his dad had the opportunity to play with Team USA and turned it down. So I haven't heard official news that it was offered to him, but it kind of sounds like Cayenne is saying that at some point the conversation did come up and Melo said, "Nah, I'm good. Like I'm gonna leave that for them." So I'm gonna find that clip again, but there is that clip circulating, and it really, if anybody sees it, it starts off with the whole two on two, Melo and his son against Braun and his son who would win. And then at the end of that clip, Cayenne, you hear him say, "My dad had a chance to play with Team USA again, and he said, nah, he turned it down."
I respect it. He figured, I'm not even in the league right now. Let one of the young guys, what I'm saying, go. It is what it is. I'm not mad at that. As much as I would still love to see Melo in the Olympics, especially because of who else is going to be there. You know what I'm saying? With LeBron, with Steph, with KD. I would love to see Melo playing on this team. And Melo is like King Olympian. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So I would love to see that. But you know what? You know, most people won't accomplish what Melo has accomplished internationally. He's done it on the biggest. So I'm not mad at that as much as I would love to see it still. Let me go to Gary's comment. He says I expect Curry to drop at least 140 to 45 point game. Man's a magician on the court. Listen, it's possible. All things are possible when you're talking about Stephen Wardell Curry. It is definitely possible when you're telling me that 3 point line is actually closer than it is in the NBA. It's definitely possible he can shoot the lights out of any gym. And again, this is his first and possibly his last and only actual Olympic games. He's coming to play. So
He will have a historic performance. He'll have one of those performances at some point. 40 to 45 is tough. Again, because as we mentioned, with the depth of this roster, 25 minutes might be the max. You might even get 25 minutes of playing time. So to score 45 points, you got to be on the court for a little bit. But then again, you never know. Kerr may say, let him cook.
But say and you got to think Curry is not someone that takes long to heat up, right? So the man could knock down 4 threes before you blink, and then you like, wait a minute, he ain't been in the
Yeah.
game for 6 minutes. He got 12 points already.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, 40
Right.
this game. So with Steph, you just never know. Anything is possible. Let me just see. Will says I don't see anyone scoring north of 28. We gotta wait and see. I think again that's gonna be based on minutes. And the what's going on in the game because if we come out the gate right and the starting five is up 25 at the end of the first quarter, you're probably not gonna see them again that game. That's when it's gonna be like that's when you're gonna see everybody else, the guys that's probably gonna average 3 to 5 minutes a game. That's when you're gonna see those guys in for the rest of that particular game. So again,
Hmm.
it's contingent on the minutes that you're getting and the course of the game.
Yeah, and you don't want to. Kerr also is not going to overextend Curry in the Olympics just for the sake of saying, "Hey, go get points." Like that's also his star player when they get back to go to the Warriors. So it's not he's going to almost treat it like an All Star game. Like, hey, if you get going early, I'm gonna let you cook. But
Yeah.
if I can rest you, yeah, if I can rest you and preserve you for some of these later Olympic games and especially the medal round, he will. So 40 to 45 is tough. I agree with Will Gordon. Like I said, I think once you get past 30, it's like, yeah, you really saying something because that's you're gonna have to play some minutes to get to that point.
Now, the other possibility is where you could possibly put up a 30-point game is if some of these games are close. Because now, if the games are close, you might see a game where Curry is in there for he done played 30 minutes.
But it also depends. It depends on what stage in the Olympics we're talking. If we're talking medal round, yeah, then
Yeah,
Curry's probably out there 30 minutes. But if we're
that's what I'm saying.
talking, qualifiers, it gets tricky based on matchups because you have some more defensive oriented guards that you go use if you need more defense. If you need more scoring, then yeah, Steph stays on the floor. As we mentioned, we don't see very many games or matchups where they would need that many points from him.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you take a game like USA versus Canada, where Shea is probably going to be out there most of that game, then that's a situation where you'll probably see more of Holiday in that game playing defense because Team USA doesn't need Steph to score. It's a luxury that we have
Hmm.
Steph to score. But anybody, and will I'll go to our starting five. We'll go back to our starting fives in just a minute. But anybody that's in either one of our starting fives can put up a 30-point night at any time of the, any day of the week. So
Hmm.
it wouldn't matter if there's a game like that, excuse me, where they're playing Canada and you want Holiday in the guard, Shea, or if Slovenia was playing, you might want Holiday to guard Luca,
Luca,
right?
right?
You know what I'm saying? So we may possibly see that. I'm gonna go back. Let's Eric, you want to run through your starting five one more time?
Yeah, I had Embiid, Braun, KD, and Steph with AD as your first big off the bench. But you had AD in the spot of Ant. You can't go wrong with that either.
Yeah, shout out to Gary. I was starting
Hmm.
fives like that was my five as well. Curry, KD, Braun, Embiid, and Anthony Davis. But again, either way, I mean,
Hmm.
we're talking about a roster full of superstars. You really cannot go wrong with any starting five that you throw
Yeah, I
out there.
mean, again, we said all that. We didn't even put Tatum at starting five. You could start Tatum at the two guard as in your five, and a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, a lot of versatility with Team
You can start
USA.
Kawhi.
Man,
Kawhi
I
could
don't know
start.
about I don't know about
No,
starting Kawhi,
if Kawhi is
but
healthy, well,
yeah,
understand
you could. Yes,
if he's healthy, you can start. You can start Kawhi. There's a lot of guys that could start in the situation. Devin Booker could start
that's
in this
true. Yeah,
situation. There's a lot of guys. Damn, everybody could be a starter
right.
on this. And basically, they're
They,
competing with themselves, and as far as who's the best, the best. It's not like we're not competing against the other countries as who's the best. We know the best 10 are probably going to be on this roster right here.
right.
You know, so it is what it is. Let me see. Will says I was just about to say that Trip. Only way someone scores north of 28, yeah, because it's a close matchup. Yeah. So there's definitely that. Let me go back up. I want to post. Gary had one more comment I wanted to post before we switch over, and then we'll talk a little summer league. I will say definitely excited for Olympic basketball, but man, I'm more excited for football season. We yes, I would love that too. The only reason I'm super hyped about this Olympic season, and I do get hyped for Olympic basketball for the Summer Olympics, but this one in particular, but it's because of the storyline. That's why I'm so invested in this year's Olympics because of how things ended for for Team USA, this past summer and all of the talk that was going around and then LeBron saying, okay, word, and we about to run the table. I'm calling up the game.
Yeah.
So I'm really invested. But I mean, football season, we love football season. Man, y'all know we're super football fans here. So I'm with you on that one, Gary. Will
Uh,
says he's going Steph, Tatum, KD, the LeBron and Embiid. Hey, listen, either way, I'm okay with that. Let me go back up to the top. Shout out to Justin. Justin said thoughts on Bronny James' first summer league game with 4 points, then comes up with the mysterious knee swelling. LOL. I mean, I ain't gonna sit up here and say whether he's hurt or not, and I'm not gonna do that. I mean, it was mid, and the debut was mid, but again, we are talking about pick 55 in the draft. Did you expect Bronny to come in here and put up 25? Like I'm confused as to what did you guys expect for Bronny to do? What did you expect for any second round draft pick to realistically come into summer league and do?
you really want to have this conversation, Trip?
I don't want to have this conversation. The comment is there. I'm just saying I
Shout out
Bronny to come in here and ball out.
Shout out to Justin. Thoughts on Bronny's first summer league is very simple. It was exactly what we thought he was as a player right now. What did he average at USC again, guys? 4 points a game. He is a low-level 3-and-D type player. He's an undersized guard because he's not a true point guard, though he has the height of a point guard, and he's doesn't shoot the ball well enough to be a 2. So it was exactly what we thought it was, and something and that we've talked about many times over and over again, that he is far from a finished product, and he's in a situation he's in more so because of his name as opposed to where his skill set is. That's not to say he won't get better as a player. That's not to say he can't get better as a player. But where he's at right now, 4 points in a summer league game, that is exactly who Bronny James is, and that's why I've been adamant that he should have gone back to USC to refine his game a little bit more before entering the draft. He did. It is what it is. He's where he's at. But it's a long road for Bronny James. And this is why I didn't understand the talk of some people who thought he should go in the first round because he is a project piece.
Who said that?
They were, you saw it. Trip, let's not pretend people weren't saying that. There were some people who were saying, I would use a late first rounder on Bronny. This is why you don't use a late first rounder on Bronny. And this is why I don't even think Bronny should have been drafted. Not to say he shouldn't be in the league, but he is a project piece. He's a guy that's going to take a few years to develop. So I'm not surprised by any of this. The mysterious knee swelling, I don't know if it's mysterious or not, to be honest. I'm not gonna question his health at this point, because he put his body through a lot to get through the combine. And he is just approaching the year mark from when he suffered cardiac arrest at USC. So he's put his body through a lot. So it's very possible that his body may be reacting certain ways now because of the amount of working out that he's had to do over the last year. It sounds crazy that a rookie would say, I'm sitting out a summer league game, but that's what happens when you have a guaranteed contract, which is also almost unheard of for a second round pick to have a guaranteed contract. So he doesn't have to force the issue either.
Yeah. Listen, they're going to give him his time to develop into whatever he can develop into. But again, your expectations for Bronny should not be that high. Okay, so whatever he did. Because again, I did not go into this summer league thinking, Bronny about to show out and prove everybody wrong. He's gonna average 30 in the summer league. No, I figured he'd be on par for what he actually did. He had a nice steal. He got a couple of baskets. That was it. Okay, and his knee swelled up. So that's it. Other than that, I did not expect much from Bronny. So I'm neither excited nor disappointed because I didn't expect much. My expectation level for LeBron, the bar is set. It's very low right now for Bronny. Like it is what it is.
I don't know what the bar is set at, to be honest, but he's what I expected him to be at this point.
Yeah. Shout out to Antoine Pitt. Tatum got to refer to me as NBA champion. As Jason finally silenced his critics. I'm not going to say he silenced his critics because, but as far as the first half of the year, you got to refer to him as the NBA champion. You got to refer to him as that. I'm not going to say he silenced his critics because the critics, were mostly just wondering, are you the alpha on the team or is Jaylen Brown the alpha on the team? And you didn't silence your critics by winning an NBA finals because that's a team award. Um Now again, one of the things we spoke about, Eric, going into the NBA finals was if Jason Tatum wins the finals MVP, then that would, change a lot as far as the dialogue and the storylines about him, but that wasn't the case. Since that didn't happen, then no, I can't say he silenced his critics.
I mean, in terms of winning a championship, yeah, silence your critics, because in order for you to ever be referred as a great player, you have to have that championship. But there's always going to be critics, because now there's going to be a new level of critics. If the Celtics struggle over the next 3 years, 4 years, then the critics continue to circle and they'll say what Trip and I have been saying, that he hasn't shown the alpha mentality to lead a team, that he hasn't taken that next step up in his development. So there will always be critics. Also, Jason Tatum's 27 years old. Are we saying that he silenced the critics forever? I think we expect him to play in the league at least another 8 years. So is he never going to have any criticism because he won this finals this year? No. Every player still has criticism even after they win a championship. So I don't think he finally silenced them. I think he just got over a hurdle that some people wondered if he could ever accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, listen, KD still getting criticized to this day. To this day,
I mean, KD gets criticized, AD gets criticized, Braun gets criticized. People were criticizing Joker after they lost in the second round of the playoffs. So NBA champions still get criticized. Now, if this was like Jason Tatum towards the end of his career, where maybe he only had a couple more years left, then yeah, you would say, all right, he silenced the critics. But he's got so much basketball in front of him, there's going to be criticism at some point again in his career.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Xavier Andrews. He says Zach Edey played well in summer league debut. I think his game will translate to the NBA. The only thing I think the major knock on Edey is that his lack of athleticism. But again, if you look at it, I ain't gonna jump out the window and have y'all say I'm jumping out the window. Every superstar is not super athletic, right? And especially when you're talking about at that center position, the guy who is arguably the best player in basketball is not super athletic. You know what I mean? Even guys like Luka, I wouldn't say Luka's super athletic. They're just really great players. So you could be great and not be super athletic. It's not synonymous. Those two are not synonymous with the other. So he could still be good and just not be that super athletic big man.
I think time will tell. I'm not sure if his game will translate to the NBA just yet, because what's going to happen, like any big man and like any rookie, teams are going to find weaknesses in your game, and then you're going to have to adjust. One of the things in college, he was able to dominate because he was always the biggest man on the court. Now that balances out a little bit, but then also guards are going to attack him differently. If you look at the way UConn attacked him in the national championship game, with a lot of pick and rolls, and they kind of wore him down, that's what they're going to see at the next level as well. So can he work on his conditioning? Can he find a way to be effective defensively, even on switches? Because the NBA now is all about switching. A lot of pick and rolls, a lot of mismatches. Can he find a way to stay on the court in those moments? He's got skills. We know that. But again, to equate the summer league debut to it's going to translate well to the NBA game, that's tough to say, because doesn't Memphis got the kid Kenny Lofton, who's been playing well on their G League and their summer league, and he doesn't see significant minutes when it matters. He sees minutes when it's either like garbage time or everybody's injured. So I don't see the translation just because of the summer league. I'll just say that.
And keep in mind, 3/4 of the guys that are playing on your summer league team are not going to actually be in the league.
Facts.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You may look better against guys that are not going to be playing at that next level. Now, no disrespect to the guys that are in the G League, because obviously you have to be a certain level of greatness to even get to to make it in the G League. But again, 3/4 of that summer league roster will not be playing in the NBA this season, barring major injuries to several people. You
Right.
know what I mean? So yeah, you should, if you're a lottery talent, or if you're one of the top talents, you should look good in those situations. But I don't know if it automatically translates to the NBA. With the guys, because again, outside of Jokic, most of the big men in the league are somewhat athletic. You know what I mean? Like, so you might need that, especially Eric, when you mentioned the pick and roll and the way guys switch. There's no way you telling me right now that you watched Zach Edey playing summer league, and if he get caught on the switch and got to guard somebody at the perimeter, you said, "Oh, he's going to be okay."
No,
I'm sorry. There's no way you looked
no,
at him and saw that. Not you, Eric, but I'm just saying that
no.
in
You're
general.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
That's exactly how UConn attacked them in the national championship game. So I don't see how he's improved that much to his league debut. Again, time will tell. It is a good landing spot for him because Memphis does have a good young roster, but time will tell ultimately if it can translate. He's got some skills, but it is going to take some time for him, I think, to be an impact player at the NBA level.
I agree. Ron says thoughts on Lakers missing out on big name free agents. I mean, I would have liked to have one of those guys playing for the Lakers. More so, I would have liked to have Clay in the Lakers uniform as opposed to any of the other names. I just thought, excuse me, Clay would be a perfect fit for the Lakers to play alongside of LeBron and AD with the amount of double teams that those guys get. But I mean, listen, it happens. You got to move on.
Ron, you know the answer to this. Shout out to Ron as always. You got Braun at about to be 40 years old. You got Braun still pulling the strings because his podcast co-host is coaching the team. And let's be clear, if Trip or myself were to get a shot with an organization, we're probably giving the other one a job within the organization. Like if I got a job with a team, Trip immediately gets the job with the team as well. So I'm not knocking JJ for getting that jet job, but I think free agents were scared off by it. Let's be real. I never bought into the whole idea of, oh, Braun is willing to take less money. Like Braun, first of all, Braun said I'm willing to take less money. He named like 4 guys that he was willing to take less money for. He wasn't willing to take less money for everybody. It was like only a couple guys. If they're willing to come, then I'll take less money. Other than that, you got to give me everything that I want. So I think some guys were scared off. And I also think some situations were just a little better. Let's call it what it is. Some situations were just better. I think Klay Thompson going to Dallas was a better fit for him. I read that Ramona Shelburne piece, and Klay kind of was hesitant to go to LA because of all of the attention that comes with that situation. Playing with Braun, his dad played for the Lakers, everything that goes with that situation, as opposed to you got a younger team in Dallas who doesn't have as much media attention, but was just in the NBA Finals, and they have opportunities to do some special things. So I think that played a factor in it as well.
Yeah. Let me go to Kyrie. The Denver Nuggets lost KCP and Reggie Jackson. So are they gonna get some depth from they was missing? Well, I think KCP is probably the bigger loss for them because he's their perimeter defender. He, he's someone who has won not only a championship with them, but he's also won a championship with the Lakers. Um, so I think that is going to be a loss for them. I I don't I don't even think Denver made any free agent signings. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't see anybody that signed to Denver. They're still a championship team though. Even with or without KCP. And I'm sure they can make a move or two during the season to if they do need to tweak the roster. But I think Denver is going to be right back in the mix of things. Joker's is there. He's only going to continue to get better. Same thing with Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, Gordon. Those guys will be right back in the mix of things this coming season. But I do think that KCP is a significant loss.
Absolutely. And Will Gordon, I was just about to say that. Let's not forget the previous offseason when they lost Jeff Green and Bruce Brown. So you're talking about four key members of a
Yes.
team that just won an NBA championship a season ago. I don't agree that the fall is coming because I think this is the season where Michael Porter Jr. could be traded. We know Joker and Murray are their 1-2 punch. That's their core. They love the versatility that Aaron Gordon brings them defensively. Michael Porter Jr. is still young enough and valuable enough to bring you assets back that can fill out this roster. He's more of a luxury on this team than a necessity. So I think unless he really falls into his role as the number 3 guy, scoring option who could just knock down corner threes and doesn't need a high usage rate, he will be the guy that they will flip in season to bring in the pieces to try to extend their championship window.
You'd have to be because you're not going to trade Jamal Murray.
You're not trading Murray or Joker.
Joker. And then if you're talking about between him and Gordon, I would say Michael Porter's trade value is higher than Aaron Gordon's. No disrespect to Aaron Gordon, but I just think Michael Porter Jr.'s trade value is higher. Yeah. Let me go back to Ron. Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton to the Warriors. Losing Clay, getting them 3 is good, I feel. I'd take it or leave it. I mean, you brought in a couple of guys that can shoot, but you also brought in a couple of guys that haven't mattered in the playoffs. So that would be my only thing with it. Yeah, you got guys, and now again, granted, not that Clay didn't have. Obviously, we know he didn't have the best season this past season for them, in the playoffs. But when you're talking about, yeah, it's great, guys. Great when you can hoop all season long, but these guys aren't proven in the playoffs. None of these guys are proven in the playoffs, and under that microscope, under that pressure. So I think this is more of a wait and see type of deal because realistically, we don't know what the Warriors are going to be this coming season because of how much Clay has been to that organization during his time with the Golden State Warriors. This is kind of really a new thing because there's no big 3 anymore.
These are decent additions. They will look better if the Warriors ultimately make that move for Lauri Markkanen, though. If they get Lauri Markkanen and they get that legitimate 4, that guy who can score and give him versatility, interior and pick and pop, then Buddy Hield, that looks like a better signing because Buddy Hield, I think right now in their career, Buddy Hield, I think is better than Klay Thompson. For the course of their career, Clay has always been better. But right now, just where Clay has been and where Buddy is, I would take Buddy Hield. So if you can add a Lauri Markkanen, if you can continue to develop Kuminga, then yeah, I think the Warriors have some pieces. But it's a lot of ifs there again because we have to make a trade. We need Kuminga to be better. And can Wiggins get back to where he was a couple seasons ago? Wiggins hasn't been right the last 2 seasons. Can they get him back? So there's a couple question marks there. But for the Warriors, I like it just from the standpoint you knew you couldn't keep Clay, so you went a little younger. I understand it. However, the moves only look better if you acquire a piece like a Lauri Markkanen.
And I mean, let me put up Will's comment up here as well. Buddy Hill can do what Clay did, catch and shoot. Clay was more expensive and older. Yes, I do agree with that. However, Buddy Hield ain't Game 6 Clay. Like I'm gonna just say that. Buddy Hield was because he was on the Sixers during this playoff run. He was damn near invisible.
Yeah, one good game. Yeah, he had a good game 5 in the Knicks series. That was
that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going with this. So I'm not going to just say he can do. Yeah, if you were just saying yes, he can knock down a shot. Yes. Is he going to be there when it counts? Because 1 out of 5 games showing up in the playoffs when you get bumped in the first round, when you got the MVP on your team and you basically did nothing that entire series, I'm gonna need to see a little bit more. That's why I said I'm gonna let this season play out. Yes, I know he's not Game 6 Clay anymore, Will, but Buddy Hield and ain't never gonna be Game 6 Clay.
Yeah, but you can't. I don't think you can compare the two. And shout out to Will Gordon for that statement because I was gonna say that, but I'm gonna piggyback off that statement. Game 6 Klay was a moment. Klay Thompson ain't been that for years. Even when they won a championship 3 seasons ago, he wasn't Game 6 Klay then.
And I was still over Buddy Hield.
No, of course. But hold on, Trip. But hold on. But let's be realistic. We're not talking about Klay's career, because Klay's career is far greater than Buddy Hield. Nobody's debating that. We're talking about where they're at today. Like, if they both were standing on the court today, where they at today? And today, Klay Thompson is far removed from his prime, and Buddy Hield is a closer version to a productive NBA shooter than what Klay is, I think, right now.
I'm not even talking about picking him over Klay. I'm just saying from the standpoint of you have got to be proven come playoff time, and you were invisible.
Yeah, but the Warriors, I don't think the Warriors, I don't think any team, every team approaches free agency based on what's available.
Yeah, I mean you can only go by what's out there. So yeah, that's what I said. I don't mind the signing. I'm just saying you have to show and prove. I can't.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make it through, because what I last saw of you was not good.
I mean, what we last saw, Klay was not good either. He shot 0 for 10, and again, in the defining game for them.
Yeah, no. But again, I'm not saying they should have signed Klay or re-signed who. What I'm saying, I'm just going basing this off of when I last saw Buddy Hield. It wasn't anything impressive.
I think that, again, we can't compare the careers because there is no comparison. Klay is a far greater player throughout the totality of their career. But going into the 2024-2025 season, Buddy Hield right now is a better player. A lot of that has to do with just that Klay's older and he's got a lot of miles on him from all the playoff runs. So if you're the Warriors, you got to assess this based off of what can we get right now. The Warriors were in the market to try to get Paul George. He said so. He said as much, that there was a trade on the table, and the Clippers just didn't want to play ball with the Warriors there, understandably so. So if you're the Clippers, you're not making that trade anyway. But the Warriors had to assess it based off of where we're at today. What can we get today? How can we improve our roster? So purely off that, I do think the Warriors have improved their roster. Is it enough to close the gap with the Minnesotas, with Dallas, with Phoenix, with Denver? No, it's not on that level. It's not enough to close that gap.
The playoffs.
Can the Warriors make the playoffs?
Well, not can, because anybody can. Do they make it back to the playoffs this season with that roster?
I'm gonna say yes, because they would have made the playoffs last year if Draymond doesn't get suspended. Okay. So I'll say it now, but again, saying them making the playoffs isn't saying much, because it's not like we're saying they're going to be a threat. We're just saying, oh yeah, they'll make.
They might get an 8 seed, 7 seed.
Right. Yeah, they could make the playoffs. So I expect them to make the playoffs. Are they a noisemaker in the playoffs? No.
Yeah, no, I don't know that.
No.
Unless one of them guys just turns up. But just right now, no. Shout out to L Nash. Will it be difficult for LeBron to handle Bronny's critics? Bronny doesn't even listen to that stuff. Y'all think Bronny reads social media? I'm sure he does read social media because he's young and this is the social media generation. I mean, will it be difficult for LeBron to handle the critics? LeBron been getting criticized since before he came into the league. He's been dealing with criticism. So even though I know I do understand that, you know, when someone is critiquing your son, and they're gonna critique Bronny heavy just because of the people that had issues with him being drafted and all of that. So yeah. But no, I think he'll be able to handle it. Again, he didn't dealt with far worse. You know what I mean? So I think from that standpoint, he'll be fine. 1 and 2, again, we're not talking about they didn't draft Bronny with the 17th overall pick and draft him in the first round. The expectations are not high for Bronny right now anyway. You know what I mean? So I think he'll be fine when he says that. I think that's true. I don't think he'll be bothered by it.
I think it will be difficult for Bron to handle it. Now, outwardly, I don't know if we'll ever know it's difficult for him, because I think Bron will try to minimize his reactions to what people say about his son. But I do think it will be, because as a parent, you criticize my kid, I'm gonna take it personally. And then if you can, I'm just being honest, right? Like, Trip,
know.
you got two nephews that you're very close to. Somebody criticize your nephew, you're gonna take it personally. And then if they consistently criticize your nephew, now we got a problem. So I think internally, Braun will feel a certain type of way. I think externally, Braun won't show it to the media that is bothering him.
Yeah.
And of course, Bronny reads social media. Bronny is on social media. He's on Twitch. And guess what? Even if he's not reading it, Bryce will probably let him know, yo, look what they said about you. I'm sure Bronny's girl.
Friends or
I'm sure Bronny's circle of friends will let him know what people are saying about him too. That's going to be the toughest part for Bronny to escape. That even if he were to go into dark mode the way his dad does, right? Where it's like, I'm not going to go to social media. The people he interacts with are on social media so much that they're going to tell him what they've been seeing.
Yeah. I think it would be for Bronny. I think we would see, just because there's already so much pressure, even though he's been dealing with this his entire life. But now, see, as a child, you can somewhat be shielded by the criticisms that people will get because you're a child. But now, as an adult, there's no more shielding. You're gonna have to endure that and overcome that. So I think Bronny is really where we need to be looking at to see how is he going to handle the criticism, that he gets, because Braun can deal with the criticism and still be superstar LeBron James on that court. As a prospect coming in, are you going to be able to handle that criticism, put that in your back pocket, and still go out there and be the best version of yourself on that court, so that you can ultimately get past? And again, you ain't gonna get past everybody, because there's gonna be cats that's gonna criticize you no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? Your
Yeah,
whole life.
that's a
But
fact.
I think we're gonna see how strong, how mentally tough Bronny is this coming season, if we even see him this season at all. Because they did just say he was gonna spend some time in the G League. So we don't even know
Well,
what, well,
no,
you know what I'm
no, no, no,
saying?
no, 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 no. I don't, I don't, I don't think we're gonna see him much at the G League, because if we do, that contradicts a lot of the things that Rich Paul had been saying leading up to the whole draft process.
Mhm.
So I think they're gonna try to develop him on the roster. We will see how that plays out from that standpoint. But I would be surprised if he spends significant time at the G League, because Rich Paul kind of scared everyone off with the idea that Bronny wasn't going to be on the G League. He wanted to be on a roster. And you don't use a roster spot for a guy that you're going to keep down in the G League. That's why you sign guys to two-way contracts. So it allows you to keep somebody on a roster without losing that guy who's going back and forth.
Yeah. Not well. Will says the expectations are high. How does Bronny get a 4 year, damn near $5 million guaranteed contract? 155 and 23 got half a mil. I mean, that's just money though. They throwing money at players. The expectations are still not that high. Like, all right, if we were talking about expectations, right? A late second round draft pick don't have the same expectations as an early second round draft pick. And an early second round draft pick don't got the same expectations as a late first round draft pick. And a late first round draft pick don't got the same expectations as a lottery draft pick. That just is what it is. The money, that's something separate. We don't we can't go by the money.
The
The expectations
expectation, the
are,
expectations are purely attached to the name. We know that.
yeah,
Whether
right.
whether fair or unfair, the expectations are attached to the name.
Basically. Let me go back up to the top. We had a couple more comments, then we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Oh, yes, we got to talk about this. Shout out to Antoine Pitt. Congrats to Angel Reese on breaking Candace Parker's double record in the season, Rookie of the Year. I believe we both had Angel Reese leading the way for Rookie of the Year. The crazy thing is I feel like there's a lot of people that are really going hard to push the narrative of Caitlin Clark getting the Rookie of the Year, because that's what they want to happen. But if you're being real, I mean, one, Angel Reese just finished coming off of being Rookie of the Month. Two, not only did she break the record for most double doubles as a rookie, she just broke Candace Parker's record now
Mhm.
for most double doubles, period. She's averaging a double double on the season. She's leading the league in rebounds and offensive rebounds. I mean, it like Caitlin Clark, and again, this is no slight to Caitlin Clark, because I don't want it to feel like, because we feel like Angel Reese is the lead, we're downing Caitlin Clark. But if we're just comparing the facts, I mean, Caitlin Clark is averaging 2 more points than Angel Reese, and I think she's averaging like 7 assists a game. I think she might be like second or third in
Yeah.
assists in the league.
Hmm.
But when you talk about the assist to turnover ratio, that kind of cancels that number out.
No, but it's down now. Her assist to turnover is actually down.
So how many turnovers is she averaging in the game right now?
Right now, her assist to turnover is down. I think to what 2 to 1, 2.5 to 1, something like that. She had a lot of turnovers. She definitely had a lot of turnovers that first month and a half of the season.
Yeah, but her average for turnovers right now is like 5 a game. A little bit over 5
I
turnovers
mean,
a game. I it, it would be it's tough for me to say Caitlin Clark is leading in the Rookie of the Year race right now, but I do feel like there's a lot of narratives and storylines that are being pushed because the amount of praise I feel like that they wanted to give Caitlin Clark for getting the triple double. I just felt like, it just made me feel like they are really trying to find any reason to give Caitlin Clark the rookie of the year. Because yes, getting triple double was great, but when this girl done got 13 straight double doubles, you can't deny that, bro.
yeah, but I mean, it's both ways because Caitlin Clark getting a triple double was the first for a rookie in WNBA history. So of course
Yeah.
that was going to make big headlines as well. The fact that it's the first time a rookie in their league had ever done that as well. I think the praise has been equal across the board. Are there more people that are pushing for Caitlin Clark? Possibly. For me, it's tough. I think Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year, but I wouldn't be mad if Angel Reese won it. But to me, the reason I say Caitlin Clark goes back to something that we talked about early in the season, and that is the Fever had the #1 pick for a reason. They were the worst team in the league. And right now, they have a better record than the Chicago Sky, and both teams would be in the playoffs. But the fact that the Fever, who had back-to-back #1 overall picks, would be in the playoffs now with Caitlin Clark, who's averaging 16, 7, and 6 as a rookie, I think is slightly more impressive than Angel Reese. I think Angel Reese has been phenomenal. I think Angel Reese has been everything we thought she was going to be because we talked about she's going to have to improve her offensive game to be a more complete player. Her rebounding and her defense were always going to be there. She's got to improve her offensive game and her offensive, like her bag, to be a better player. If you give Angel Reese a rookie of the year, I ain't mad at it. I just think that when you're the #1 player on a team that the #1 pick and you can get us into the playoffs and you've had a larger impact on our success, I think that weighs a little bit more for me. That's why I would lean Caitlin Clark. But I wouldn't be mad at Angel Reese for getting it.
And I mean, it's not like Chicago wasn't bees knees last year either. They I know they made the playoffs, but they were pretty bad this
Yeah, but
past.
that's the difference, though. Remember, Chicago was picking 7th in a draft that only has like 12 teams. Chicago was a playoff team.
Yeah, well, because ain't that many teams,
Right, but that's my point, Trip. She went to a situation where they had a little bit more foundation there. And that, again, this is not to knock Angel Reese. I don't want nobody to think we're trying to pick apart either player. Caitlin Clark came into a situation where it's like we got the #1 pick and we ain't really got much. And from day one, it's been put it in Caitlin Clark's hands and let her play make. Her usage rate is very high. Yes, her turnovers are very high as well. But I think Caitlin Clark, to me, has been the rookie of the year. I just think when you add in you're the #1 pick on a team that had the worst record and you can lead us to the playoffs, I think that's a little more impactful.
Their records are pretty similar right now. Indiana is in 7th place, Chicago's in 8th, but they've also played more games than Chicago has played right now as well.
I think
And
they play one more game than them.
yeah, and Chicago has one less loss than them and one less win than them. So we'll see how the season finishes. But
Will saying she lead the league in turnover. Luka led the NBA in turnovers his rookie year. That happens. That ain't no big deal.
did Luka have competition for Rookie of the Year that year? I don't think he had no competition, no realistically.
Who was the other rookies that year? Trey Young, DeAndre Ayton.
He had no competition for Rookie of the Year.
I mean, no. Luka was the best rookie, but let's not say to say rookie. We can't say he had no competition when Luka wasn't the #1 pick.
No, he wasn't. He was number 4?
He was number 5 in that draft.
5? Okay.
It was part of a trade, yeah, but he ended up being number 5.
Yeah. So,
but rookies turning the ball over. What's new? That's what rookies do. We knew that already.
Yeah, but you know that's a high rate of turnover. Angel Reese ain't turning over the ball like that
because Angel Reese ain't initiating offense.
Hey, that don't mean she can't be turning over the ball.
Hold on. So again, so to play devil's advocate, then, if we turn on the tape, how many of Angel Reese's own misses are her own rebounds?
I don't know. I would have to look and see.
At least half of her rebounds are her own misses.
Stats on that. Listen.
So, but again, that's just playing devil's advocate. That ain't. I'm not knocking. I'm just.
But if you're gonna say that, then we can also say then she's creating second chance opportunities. Some second chance points are big.
So we gonna say missing shots on purpose is creating second chance opportunities now?
She ain't missing them on purpose, but
you just said she's creating second chance opportunities because she's missing so many shots.
Offensive rebounds create second chance opportunities.
Correct, but she's missing. Those are her own shots around the rim that she's missing.
Yeah, but hold on. Every offensive rebound she got ain't coming from her own shot. I'd have to look into the numbers to see how many of the offensive rebounds that she are coming from her own.
She's shooting 41% from the field. All her shots are in the paint.
Yeah, she's a big.
And she's shooting 41% from inside the paint. So she's creating second chance opportunities for herself. There's not like she's hustling, getting rebounds other people are missing. It's like, I'm missing at the rim, I got it back. I'm going to miss at the rim, I got it back. I made the layup. Now I just got 3 rebounds and 2 points on that one possession.
She's leading the league in rebounds. She ain't the only person that's missing shots. Somebody else missing shots. It ain't just Angel. I'll look into the exact number of her own misses that she has. I mean, that's a crazy stat to really look up to see. I don't know how many.
I'm just saying she's shooting 41% and she's shooting 41%.
And I will still rather you shooting 41% and getting your own rebound and making shots and you turning over the basketball 5 times a game.
To me, that I don't agree with that. I don't think that you
turn over the ball 5 times a game, then you miss a shot, get your own rebound and then score.
No, what I'm saying is, if you have one who's initiating our offense consistently, you know there's going to be turnovers with that, as opposed to I give you the ball. So what happens when she can't grab an offensive rebound then?
Well, we haven't seen her not grabbing an offensive rebound yet, so
we have seen it. That's why the team record isn't that great. She doesn't grab every offense. My point is, any big in any level of basketball, if you're shooting 40% from the paint, let's not act like that's something positive that we should be like hanging our hat on. Like, yeah, she missed a lot of shots, but hey, she's grabbing also her own rebound. There's going to be a point when she's not going to be able to grab them offensive rebounds because she's going to get boxed out, and everyone's going to start to realize she's an inefficient offensive player. That's my point. Caitlin Clark is a better player right now. Caitlin Clark is a better player.
I think they knew she was inefficient on the offensive, and that was one of the things we spoke about with her coming into the season. That she was going to
so right now, Caitlin Clark is a better player than her.
I don't know. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like she's a better player than her.
Okay.
All around. I don't know.
I think right now Caitlin Clark is a better player than Angel. That's not saying Angel Reese is trash. Angel Reese is not trash.
You can feel that way. I don't think it's clear that Caitlin Clark is better than Angel Reese right now, and she definitely has not played this season to where it's clear that she's better than Angel Reese.
Okay, I don't think Angel Reese has a great skill set, and I think Angel Reese is a high IQ player. I've talked about it before. She is a great passer as well when she gets those opportunities. But overall, Caitlin Clark is a better player. Caitlin Clark runs offense, can get her own offense, and she's doing that as an undersized guard. Angel Reese right now is very limited in what she can do. If she's not in the paint, she doesn't have an impact on the game.
She does have an impact on the game because she still plays defense. She rebounds. She does.
That's all in the paint. That's my point. It's all her impact is felt only in the paint. If you pull her away from the paint, she does not have the same impact. Caitlin Clark is still able to impact the game with her passing ability.
Yeah,
she's able to impact the game.
Impacts the game too.
Luka turns the ball over a lot. Luka turns the ball over a lot. Most rookie guards turn the ball we can look up the history of the last 20 years. Every rookie guard has a high turnover rate. That's promised. Every rookie guard.
Are they leading the league in turnovers? Averaging 5
Every rookie guard always leads the league in turnovers. When you have a high usage rate as a rookie and you're adjusting to the speed and physicality of the game, you're going to turn the ball over. It happens. Every rookie guard it happens to. Every rookie guard. I think even Braun led the league in turnovers his rookie year because he had a high usage rate. That goes hand in hand.
I don't know because we're gonna have to look this up. I'm gonna have to look up the numbers on that.
I'm gonna pull the numbers while we go to the next question.
Because I don't think every rookie has led the league in turnovers every season.
Majority of rookie guards lead their league in turnovers their rookie season. You can look back. I'm sure Chris Paul probably did as well. Most rookie guards lead the league in turnovers.
Well, you gotta look up the WNBA numbers because in the WNBA,
okay,
because we talking about WNBA players right now.
Of course, but we talking basketball in general. We're not just talking.
I can tell you right now that 2 seasons ago, a rookie did not lead the league in turnovers. I can tell you that right now.
In the WNBA?
Yes, I'm telling you that right now. Rookie
was it a guard with a high usage rate?
It was a forward.
It was a forward.
Natasha Howard led the league, and she damn sure was not no rookie 2 years ago.
What was she averaging?
What was she?
Like averaging? I'm talking as far as minutes and usage rate. I'm not talking about total turnovers. I'm talking about turnovers per game.
She was averaging 33 minutes a game.
All right, and how many turnovers was she averaging a game?
She was averaging 13 minutes, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and she was averaging 2.8 turnovers and led the league in turnovers.
Okay. And that's the 1 year. Like I said, we can go back over the history of the league. I'm pretty sure it's guards leading the league with high usage rate.
Guards or rookies? Because that's 2 different things.
Both go hand in hand. If you rookie guards, that's why I use Luka. Hold on. Stop. That's exactly why I use Luka as the example. Because I said most rookie guards with high usage rate, and I use Braun as an example as a rookie as well. Rookies who have high usage rate, specifically guards as well. Braun isn't more of a guard, though he handles like a point guard. Always lead the league in turnovers. It happens all the time. We're making it a big deal like Caitlin Clark is the first rookie guard to do this. Most rookie guards lead the league in turnovers. It's okay.
I ain't know no rookie guard that was averaging 5 turnovers a game. She set the bar high then. Okay. She's setting the bar.
If that's what strengthens your argument, then okay.
She's setting the bar. Angel leads the league in the positive stat offensive boards. Clark leads in the negative stat turnover. Stop it. John, what's this? John Wall, my son, in his rookie year was 26th in turnovers.
So hold on. You mentioned in 1 year out of the last 20 years. Again, show me the numbers for the last 20 years.
Well, I just gave you one from the WNBA. He just gave you one from the.
I'm saying, of course, it's easy to pick one isolated instance and be like, "Oh, that was the one time."
No, I'll go through and I'll tell you who led the league in turnovers.
We will have that list ready for the next show because I'm pretty sure that most years, and we'll do the same with the WNBA.
We'll have to go that far back. Well, let's say we'll do 10 years. We'll go by the last 10 years and see who led the league in turnovers.
Right. And like I said, rookie years, most guards with a high usage rate. I'm letting you know exactly the category, the criteria for the category. Rookie. I'm not talking rookie guards who came off your bench, and this isn't talking about John Wall because John Wall was a starter, obviously. But I'm not categorizing rookies who come off your bench for 12 to 15 minutes a night. I'm talking about starting rookie guards who have a high usage rate, most time lead the league in turnovers. It happens all the time. It's one of the things we talked about with Caitlin Clark early on because we said her adjustment from Iowa to the WNBA was going to be tricky because in Iowa, she had the ultimate green light. She was able to create and do whatever she wanted to do at Iowa. So we knew that the turnovers were going to be a part of it. But like me personally, I'm taking 16, 7, and 6 from the number 1 pick who was on the team that had the worst record for the last 2 years, who is now in playoff position over Angel Reese's 13 and 11.
They both in playoff position though.
Did Chicago make the playoffs without Angel Reese?
Did they make the playoffs without Angel Reese last year?
Yes.
They did. They were under 500.
Did the Indiana? I didn't ask whether they were under 500. I said, did they make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Did Indiana make the playoffs last year?
No.
Okay.
And she still ain't having a better season than Angel Reese.
She is. She's going to win Rookie of the Year too.
Well, all right. Well, we already know John Wall was efficient. We don't. I'm not gonna keep bringing up John Wall.
Again, one
Yeah,
isolate.
well, you got.
Like that's what I'm saying. You give him one example, bro. Like, and that's a personal example because that's your team. That's a personal example.
Well, you got to give me somebody else. Okay. All right, man. Let me go to this last comment. We got to shout out the ladies, man. Shout out to Pooh. Pooh says, "Hey guys, just stopping by to say I enjoyed your guest last week. Humble young man. Yes, big shout out to Maxwell Pierce. He's gonna come back soon because he wanted to be here while Eric was here. So we got to schedule him to come back at some point before the summer is out. We'll get Maxwell Pierce back here. Maybe we'll try to coincide with one of his games with the Globetrotters, and we'll get him back at that time. But a big shout out to Maxwell Pierce. Congrats again on the engagement. Will, you mad late, okay? Will says, hey Pooh, but you late. Well, that was from earlier. Come on, man. You gotta step your game up on that one, all right? With that being said, though, make sure you're following us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter at Real Fan Talk, Facebook.com/Real Fans Real Talk. And again, subscribe to that YouTube channel, youtube.com/For the Fans Productions. And if you're not in New York City on Thursday nights and you can't watch us on Verizon 43, don't worry, just go on the website, realfansrealtalk.com. Click that red button on the homepage and you can watch from anywhere in the world. Also, make sure you subscribe to the two best podcasts moving, the Real Fans Real Talk and the Sanchez Show podcast. New content dropping every week. Eric, give us a final thought, man.
As always, man, shout out to the supporters. We greatly appreciate you guys, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us, man. So we definitely don't take that lightly. We're gonna figure something out for next week. I know my man Trip is gonna be on vacation, so I'm gonna hold it down, but we're gonna figure out a time and date on that. And just looking forward to rocking with you guys again next week.
Yes, sir. We're going up on a Tuesday. That's why we appreciate y'all, because
That's
we
a
switch up
fact.
Monday, y'all rock with us. We go to
That's
a
a
Tuesday,
fact.
y'all rock with us. We love y'all truly. Y'all inspire us so much to continue doing what we do. We'll figure it out for next week. I may not be here just because I'm gonna be in Jamaica on the island, my youth boy, right near the beach. That's why I'm in my island mode right now. Tonight's show. But either way, we will be back together again in 2 weeks, and we got a lot more going. So y'all keep it locked in. We appreciate you guys. With that being said, though, I'm just gonna have my final thought be Team USA all the way. For myself, Trip Young, and my brother Eric Sanchez, aka Legend in Two Games. We up out of here. Peace.